We're gonna get an acceleration here at elevation. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be taking the new 2021 Cadillac Escalade up and down a canyon to see how it performs in that environment. And with all that being said, let's just get straight into it. We'll be doing our canyon review here, and I'm gonna reset the fuel economy right now before we go up the canyon so you guys can get the fuel economy going up and then down the canyon as well. But since this is a canyon review, we're going to talk about how this drives and handles going up and down a canyon from a power perspective, handling perspective, comfort, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you guys will be able to kind of surmise comfort is going to be fantastic because the new Escalade is such an amazing luxury vehicle. So driving up this initial part of the canyon, let's kind of talk about the handling. And the reason I picked this canyon over the one that I usually go up is this one actually has quite a few more curves, and they are actually just significantly harder to go around. And so I thought that this would really show the handling of vehicles, and also it's a nice change of scenery. So first off, yes, the Escalade is bigger, but it actually handles really good. So if you guys noticed in my review of the Escalade, the engine's actually pretty far back, and so that actually helps out with weight distribution. And from a handling perspective, it makes it so this actually handles really nice, again, for being a bigger sized SUV. And the Magnerite suspension and the air suspension definitely helps out with that as well, in terms of kind of, I can tell when I go into a corner, it definitely minimizes the amount of body roll you get. Yes, you still do feel body roll, but for how big this is, I feel significantly less body roll than I should. It actually handles really nice. It's easy to stay in the lane. Just overall, it's really easy to drive, and hopefully this double viewpoint thing doesn't make anyone sick. I thought it would just be cool from a camera perspective so you guys can really see what's happening. But yeah, I mean, it drives just great. It's extremely smooth. That's one of the high points here with the new Escalade, is just how smooth it is. And on this road, you definitely benefit from that. It doesn't get upset when you go over bumps or anything like that. It just smooths everything out, and you guys can see, like, it's really nice from a handling perspective. And the steering's very light, very comfortable. Even when you put it over into the sport mode, which I accidentally went past it, there we go. Even when you put it in the sport mode, the steering's still really comfortable. The suspension's really comfortable. You do get a little bit more throttle response when you are in the sport mode. But yeah, overall, it's very comfortable. You guys can see here, like it transfers weight really nice for being a large SUV. It actually just does a really good job. And I think this is the canyon to do my videos in, because can actually kind of get a little bit of driving here. Yeah, it's great. It does a really good job. This will be another great part to show right here, because these are some kind of slower, harsher corners. But yeah, another thing that I want to mention is just how comfortable it is to be in the Escalade for longer durations of time. I've been in the car for about, I'd say 30 minutes at this point because of all the filming I've been doing, and I've been getting a massage the whole time. I've got my AC seat on, so I'm not like sweating all over the seat. Trust me, that happens when you sit in a car for such a long period of time. You do start to sweat in the seat a little bit, but the AC seat fixes that. And just overall, I'm very comfortable. So I'm just very pleasantly surprised by how comfortable this is to be in for long durations of time. My legs aren't cramping up at all. My back's not cramping up. It's a really comfortable vehicle to be in for long durations. Well, we are a little farther up the canyon, and let me tell you, this thing does have some passing power. The other thing I like about this canyon is there are a few areas where you can pass. Most of it is double yellow where you can't pass, but there's a few areas where one side or the other, whether it's going up the canyon or going down the canyon, will have a couple of passing areas. And like I said, this has some passing power. Now this is like the harshest curve in the whole canyon. And yeah, it smooths everything out, and it transfers the weight pretty well, again, for being such a large SUV. Yeah, I'm impressed. Then you guys can see the acceleration here at elevation. It's really solid getting up and going. That 10-speed automatic brings it down into the right gear, just really quick, really smooth, and then you just get tons of power from the engine. Sounds good too. yeah, I really like how this drives. And sorry if you guys hear my mouth randomly opening. I'm popping my ears because I keep getting bubbles in them from the elevation change. I always get that. No matter how many times I drive up and down canyons, I always get the ear bubbles. But yeah, I really like how this drives up and down this canyon so far. It is doing just such a good job. So don't worry, there's no one behind us, but we're gonna get an acceleration here at elevation. That's pretty good for being at about, I think, 7,000 feet at this point. That is really good from an acceleration standpoint with a naturally aspirated engine and all the power loss we're gonna get here at elevation. Yeah, this Escalade just keeps impressing me. It's crazy just how nice this is. But yeah, I'm most of the way up the canyon. Once I get to the top of the canyon, I'll show you guys the fuel economy, and then I'll talk about how it is driving down a little bit, and then we'll get into summing things up. Well, we are pretty much here to the top of the canyon. You guys can see the beautiful mountain there and the little screen view right here. But getting up here at the top, we averaged about 10.6 miles per gallon, which is really good, I think. I mean, again, it's a big 6.2 liter V8, big SUV, and that's going uphill. Obviously, I'll give you guys the average once we go back down. But for an uphill average of 10.6 miles per gallon, I think that is just fantastic. We are heading down the canyon now, and the first thing I'm noticing is the Escalade actually automatically downshifts when you're going at a steeper descent. So then it does a little bit more engine braking, so you aren't riding on the brakes all the way down. I think that's cool that it's all automatic, that I don't have to go into low range or anything to get that effect, which, yeah, I just think that's really neat that they have that kind of as a built-in feature already. It just detects that, hey, we're kind of not on the accelerator pedal at all. We're somehow still accelerating, so then it goes, oh, we must be going down a steep decline, so let's obviously put in a little bit more engine braking. So yeah, I just think that's really nice. But you guys can probably see by the fact that I was driving with one hand. So easy to drive, so comfortable. Yes, I'm still getting a massage. Yes, I am enjoying the views. I hope that you guys are enjoying the views as well. It's absolutely beautiful today with the contrast between the snow and the evergreens. But yeah, I mean, so far as a canyon cruiser, this vehicle is amazing. We have gotten down quite a bit of the canyon, and let me tell you, it's pretty much just driving itself. Like, I'm barely having to get on the accelerator at all, and every so often I'm having to press the brakes, but for the most part, it's pretty much just coasting down and staying right at the perfect speed, and it's just super comfortable. Like, I'm not driving down, I'm just kind of floating down the canyon. It is that good. I really like how this drives. It's so comfortable. So like, I find myself pretty much, again, just kind of floating down the canyon, and I'm just able to really enjoy the beautiful scenery because it's so easy to drive. We are now getting towards the bottom of the canyon, and so let's kind of get into summing things up here with my impressions with driving the Escalade up and down a canyon. So first off, like I've said throughout the entire duration of the video, it is incredibly smooth from a ride quality perspective. Nothing really upsets it. But then on top of that, you've got really good body control here with the Escalade. Between, again, the air suspension and the MagneRide, it just smooths everything out. But then it also kind of diminishes a lot of the body roll that you get. So it actually has pretty good turn-in. Again, considering how long and how heavy this is, it drives actually significantly smaller just from how it actually feels. And then aside from all of that, you guys know I've already talked about in my review how visibility is great. That has not been an issue whatsoever. It's been also really easy to stay in the lane, and you can tell, like, you really, I mean, I'm just doing this for the video's sake. You literally could drive this with one finger if you wanted to. It is that easy from a steering perspective, and you guys get to see brakes are really solid as well. Just like slowing down here for this portion, this is kind of like the crazy twisting back and forth portion here in the canyon. But yeah, overall the Escalade's just, it's so comfortable. It's nice and quiet. It's got more than enough power, and even when we're at the really high elevation points, it's still got up to speed at a really good pace. And so it just nails every single thing that I want to have from a, I guess, like, canyon vehicle. Now obviously it's not a sports car, and you're not gonna be taking you around corners crazy fast or anything like that, but that's not what the Escalade's about. The Escalade is about getting from point A to point B in the most comfortable way possible, massive amounts of luxury, just absolutely fantastic. And the fuel economy's been pretty good. I will give you guys the final reading once we get to the bottom of the canyon, but it's actually a lot better than what I expected it to be going up and down the canyon with the Escalade. But I guess here's what I'd have to say is, if you want something that you can take a bunch of people up and down the canyon for ski adventures, all that kind of stuff, the Escalade is the way to go. You can fit all of the people, you can fit all of the stuff. And I mean, you could even, you could hook a trailer to the back of this too, obviously, since it's got a 7,500 pound towing capacity. So if you can't fit stuff in the interior, you can fit it in your trailer. But yeah, just as like a massive multi-purpose vehicle, it does a really good job. And I really mean that, like, if I were going up and down the canyon for a ski adventure for the weekend, this is the car I would want to take up and down the canyon, because I'd be comfortable going up and down the whole way. I'd have the massaging seat on. Since it'd be the winter time, I'd have the heated seat on, and I would just be so comfortable, and everyone else that would be a passenger would be comfortable. You know, the people in the back could watch something on the TVs, all that kind of stuff. Like, it has so many cool features, and there's so much you can do with it. So yeah, definitely, it's a great canyon vehicle. That's all I gotta say. We have officially made it to the bottom of the canyon, and our final fuel economy reading after doing a round trip of 28.9 miles is over 18 miles per gallon. You guys can remember, the city average for this is 14, highway average is 19, so we got close to the highway average for fuel economy of going up and down that canyon. So from a fuel economy standpoint, it's doing really good. But yeah, that's everything for our canyon drive impressions, all that kind of stuff, whatever you want to call it. Again, I will be having more videos on the Escalade. We will have a video where I'll drive this on the interstate, all that kind of stuff, test out the cruise control. So if you want to see that, please subscribe. And yeah, I will see all of you in that next video.